السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. طلاب الأعزاء، طلاب الفرقة الأولى بالمجمع التكنولوجي المتكامل بالأميرية، أهلا وسهلا بحضراتكم جميعا في لقاء من لقاءات المحاضرات المتعلقة بمادة التكنيكال إنجليش مع الدكتور بدر عبد الفتاح. Today's lesson will be about energy. As usual, we start with a kind of a warming up question, and here we go with the first question. It's about what types of energy. What types of energy do you know? I'm sure that all of you, not just most of you, all of you know the different types of energy. We can talk about fossil fuels, we can talk about solar energy, we can talk about wind energy, we can talk about water energy, we can talk about geothermal energy, we can talk about hydroelectric energy. So we do have like different types of energy. And today's lesson will be mainly about energy. So as usual, we start with reading the article and then moving to address the questions on the article. And as usual, I read it for you. So first paragraph, what do people need to light their homes and drive cars? Energy. It gives power to many things we need and use. Most of the energy people use comes from coal, oil, and gas. They are called fossil fuels. Those fuels come from fossils under the ground. Fossils are the remains of plants and animals that lived long ago. Burning fossil fuels pollutes the air. The air becomes dirty. That can be harmful to people, animals, and plants. So this is the first paragraph, and I'd like to stress some main ideas of the first paragraph. Of course, we started the first paragraph with asking a question: what do people need to light their homes and to drive cars? What do we need in order to have light in our houses, in order to make our cars, move? So we need energy. Of course, we need energy. And here's a definition: it gives power to many things we need and use. And then in the same paragraph, we're talking about the different sources of energy. And we have coal, we have oil, and we have gas. And we call coal and oil and gas, we call them fossil fuels. And those fuels come from fossils. And fossils, of course, were existed under the ground long ago. Fossils were remains of plants and animals and even people that lived long ago. And of course, when we burn such fossil fuels, it creates like pollution in the air. And as every one of us knows very, very well, that pollution is very, very harmful to the environment and to our health, and also it's very harmful to people and plants as well, and animals, of course. And now let's move to read the next paragraph. Now more people are using clean energy. Such energy does not pollute the air. Two kinds of clean energy are wind power and solar power. Solar means from the sun. So we moved in this paragraph to talk about different types of energy, which we call clean energy. And here, according to the second paragraph, clean energy does not pollute the air, does not create or produces any pollution to the environment, especially to the air. And according to this paragraph, how many kinds do we have for clean energy? We have two main kinds. The first one is called wind power, طاقة الرياح. That's the first one. And the second one is called solar power, which is الطاقة الشمسية. And in this paragraph, we explain the meaning of the word solar. And solar here means it comes from the sun. Let's now move to the next slide and next paragraph. In this paragraph, we are going to talk about solar energy. The sun gives Earth heat and light. Some homes have solar panels on the roof. The panels collect sunlight and they turn it into electricity. That's a kind of energy. It lets people do many things. For example, we use electricity to light our homes and watch television. Solar power can also be used to warm up the water in our homes. So in this paragraph, we are mainly talking about solar energy. And as we discussed before, solar comes from the sun. And here we say that the sun gives Earth heat and light. Of course, heat and light are coming from the sun. And some homes, some houses have what we call solar panels on their roof. And such panels, they gather the sunlight and they turn it into electricity, which is used nowadays in many places in Egypt. That's a kind of energy. It lets people do many things. For example, we use electricity to light our homes and of course to watch television. And at the end we have the sentence of solar power can also be used to warm up the water in our homes. So in this paragraph we're just talking about solar energy, which comes mainly from the sun. And then in this paragraph we're talking about wind power. And here we say that people can turn wind energy into electricity. Wind turbines are machines that spin when the wind blows. They make electricity. So that's a different type of energy. It's called wind power. And in order to have such wind power, you need to have fast turbines, and you place the turbines somewhere where you have like constant, where you have like strong and ongoing wind. And turbines are like machines which are used in order to turn and move when the wind blows, and therefore at the end you can have electricity, or you can produce and make electricity. So that's the meaning of this paragraph on wind power. Wind turbines are grouped together in wind farms. Some wind farms have hundreds of wind turbines. The Roscoe wind farm in Texas has 627 turbines. They can power 230,000 homes. So in this paragraph we are still talking about wind power, and we're still talking about turbines, and we say that turbines are grouped together. They are set together in what we call wind farms, and such wind farms have like hundreds of wind turbines. And we have an example about one of the wind farms in Texas in the United States, which has like 627 turbines, and the 627 turbines can power almost 230,000 homes in Texas in the United States. Now we have some questions on the article. Question number one. According to the text, where does most of the energy that people use come from? That's according to the text. I'm not asking this question about your own point of view. I'm asking according to the text, according to the article that we've read together. So according to the text, where does most of the energy that people use come from? Is it coming from the wind? Is it coming from plants? Is it coming from fossil fuels? Is it coming from the sun? So the answer is yes, according to the text, most of the energy that people use come from the sun. Next question. Based on the text description, what are two examples of clean energy? One more time. Based on the text description, what are the two examples of clean energy? Is it solar power and electricity? Is it wind power and solar power? Is it fossil fuels and wind power? Electricity and fossil fuels. So we are talking, pay attention that we are talking about clean energy. So clean energy is represented in, yes, the second one, which is wind power and solar power. Next, burning fossil fuels pollutes the air, which can be harmful to people, animals, and plants. Clean energy does not pollute the air. Based on this evidence, what can you conclude about clean energy? So that's question number 3. Based on this evidence, what can you conclude about the clean energy? Is it clean energy is probably better for the health, people, animals, and plants than fossil fuels? Clean energy is probably more dangerous to people, animals, and plants than burning fossil fuels. Clean energy is probably worse for the air, but better for the health of people, animals, and plants than fossil fuels. And the last one is clean energy is probably better for the air, but worse for people, animals, and plants than fossil fuels. So which one? The correct choice is first one. Okay, so the first one, which is clean energy, is probably better for the health of people, animals, and plants than fossil fuels. Next one. What's most likely a main goal of using clean energy? So what's most likely a main goal of using clean energy? Is it to replace the sun and wind with man-made energy sources? Is it to remove pollution from the air as quickly as possible? Is it to stop destroying fossils from long ago? Is it to create electricity without creating pollution? So the last one is the correct answer, the last choice, which is to create electricity without creating the pollution. This is the most likely goal of using clean energy. Next. What's the main idea of the passage? That's number 5. What's the main idea of the passage? Is it more people are using clean energy like solar power and wind power, which does not pollute the air? Is it clean energy is mainly used to create electricity, which people can use to power their homes? Is it fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas come from the remains of plants and animals that lived long ago? Is it most of the energy people use comes from burning fossil fuels, which pollutes the air? So the main idea of the passage is the first one, which is more people are using clean energy like solar power and wind power, which does not pollute the air. That's correct. Next. Read these sentences from the text. Burning fossil fuels pollutes the air. The air becomes dirty. That can be harmful to people, animals, and plants. Based on these sentences, what does the word pollute mean? Is it to make something clean? So we're talking about the meaning of the word pollute. Is it to make something cheaper? To make something dirty? To make something dangerous? So the correct one is dirty. Choose the answer that best completes the sentence. Most of the energy people use comes from coal, oil, and gas. Is it, however, as a result, at first, for example, now more people are using clean energy? So the correct choice is however. Okay, however, now more people are using clean energy. because when we are talking about however, we are giving like contrast between the previous sentence and the next sentence. So the previous sentence here is talking about most of the energy people use comes from coal, oil, and gas. And we have a contrast. We can say however or but more people are using clean energy. The last slide. It's about an assignment to do. The assignment is about write a paragraph about one type of energy and how it's important for us. That's your assignment for next week, and I hope that you can understand the lesson on energy and the different types of energy. And also I hope to finish writing this paragraph on one type of energy and how it's important for us. You need, of course, to select one source of energy and then make like a kind of a brainstorming for yourself, and then make a draft and then edit your own draft. Thank you so much, and inshallah we'll meet again in next videos. Thank you and bye bye.